Hi, roommates. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Good evening, you all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, Brown Fox. Hi. Hey, y'all. Come on in. Happy Thursday. Whew. Y'all been working with me. I've been doing some traveling. I've been all over the place, but I have got to tell you that when I don't get a chance to sit down with you all, I just feel like, I don't know, I'm missing out. Y'all missing out. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Faith, Tasha. Come on in, y'all. We got some good stuff in store tonight, okay? In honor of National Mental Health Awareness Month, okay? We got to get in tune and stay in tune and be extremely intentional about our mental health, okay? So come on in. We're going to give people a couple minutes. I'm pulling up my good old trusty notes. Hey, y'all. Hi. Whew. I had to get comfortable, guys. It was so warm earlier. But now it's getting ready to rain and all of that stuff. So I'm just happy that I made it here. Got a little comfortable and just really ready to get started. We got some people saying, hey, roommates. So I missed last week. I was doing a bit of traveling and I missed y'all. I always miss you all. I feel like I'm cheating of some sorts when I am not giving you guys, what I signed up for and what we signed up for, which is to convene every week and to discuss the things that we need to discuss. So tonight, guys, it's not going to be heavy because we don't want to make it heavy, right? Mental health is something that we should be talking about, that we should be conversing about, that we should be checking in on one another about, and just really being in tune with what it is that we need from one another to be okay and to be emotionally sound. Hey, Arthelia, thank you for joining. I'm glad you're here, actually. And so I would love for you all right now to drop in a chat. I'm doing a mental health check-in with you all. How are you feeling right now? I'll tell you guys how I'm feeling and then you guys can chime in. I am feeling a bit overwhelmed. I have a lot going on, but I will not complain simply because the things that are going on and are happening for me are things that I've prayed for, right? And so you can't want those things and know you have to work hard for them and then find ways to complain about it. That makes it an oxymoron because you want this and, the hard work comes along with it. So, mental health check. How are you all doing? Hey, y'all, I see the numbers climbing. Come on in and stay on in. It's going to be a good day today. Hey, Janelle. Hey, sister. Dee. Y'all feeling good? Let me see. Let me see what I got over on Instagram. Facebook, y'all slow to warming up today. Get on in here and tell me how you're feeling, child. And so, yeah, today we're going to talk about forms of just our emotional well-being, which is what really comes to mind. I mean, when you think about your mental health, it is, it is the epitome of who we are. It's our thought process. If you're not well emotionally and mentally, it's really hard for you to show up in other ways, physically, spiritually. It's really hard for you to find ways to show up that are meaningful because we're struggling in areas that may not be helping us be the most productive selves because the mental health may be at jeopardy. So some of the things that I'm seeing from you guys, are you're feeling amazing, you're not too busy. I know, doesn't it feel good to just let go some things and kick back? And you know, I have other people saying that they're feeling sad, that they're dealing with some grief right now. And this is due to loss of family members. So we all are going to be in different spaces when it comes to mental health on any given day. It's not like, though Tasha and Brown Fox, you may feel sad because of the grief that is there and very present today. You know that God is our safety place and our refuge in those valleys and in those dark spaces. So though you may feel that way today, though, joy comes in the morning, right? And so we're not going to hold this up anymore. Thank you guys for really just being honest about how you're feeling today, because tomorrow you may feel a different way. So don't beat yourself up. Be patient with yourself and be kind towards yourself, because it is necessary. We do not give ourselves enough grace when it comes to this thing called life. We are constantly berating things about ourselves that really actually other people may find appealing. You may be inspiring people in those areas. So give yourself some grace. Learn how to show up for yourself. And in the interim, you can better show up for those people that are around you, whether they're asking you to show up or whether you just can pick up on those cues and understand that people need you in the moments that they need you. Not everybody is going to have the strength or the courage to come to you and say, I'm not well. Mentally, I'm all over the place. I'm exhausted. Because we want to have like this picture perfect image, and that's okay. But I don't want you to pretend just to get along in situations. Be authentically yourself and take ownership of who you are and what you're feeling in the times that you're feeling it. Okay. I am going to encourage you guys throughout tonight. And I'm going to continue to encourage you guys as long as I have breath within me. So, in honor of National Mental Health Awareness Month, which is the entire month of May, today we're actually going to be exploring and talking about emotional unrest, emotional abuse, and how it takes a toll on us. Okay, a lot of times when we think about mental health, you may think, oh, a person is bipolar or a person is, you know, on a certain path. But I do want you to know that mental health goes far beyond a clinical diagnosis. And it's okay to stop and stick a pin in life to ensure that you are okay. So before we get started, I want to really remind us of a couple of Bible verses that really sat near and dear to me as I was preparing for tonight. And one of them is, one of those Bible verses are coming to us from 2 Timothy 3:12. And what it reminds us is that all those who try to do right and to do the right things and live righteously will endure hard times. And with that being said, roommates, never stop being your righteous self, your authentic self, your bubbly self, your contributory self for the sake of your environment. Continue to thrive and go above the situations, no matter what those situations are. And just remember, God said that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, but he didn't say that they would inform. So just be reminded that the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. But God reminds us that he comes so that we may have life and life more abundantly. Don't get stuck. Don't let today's woes get you down for whatever your future is holding for you. Continue to fight for yourself. Continue to keep it on no matter what the circumstances are. All right, let's jump in. We're going to talk about for the sake of mental health. We're going to talk about emotional health and what that looks like and how it's defined, okay? So emotional abuse or mental abuse is a form of abuse characterized by a person subjecting or exposing another person to a behavior that may result in different types of trauma. So that can be anxiety, it can cause depression, it can be PTSD, it can be amongst a multitude of things, but it literally, it forms within us, and it causes us to feel rejected. It causes us to be in states of confusion. You should never really be in a state of confusion when you are in relation with another person. Okay, if it's you and I, and we are not getting along for whatever reason, you and I should be able to come together and to be able to hash the situation out, and it shouldn't be any confusion. Just do that effective communication, and then you guys will be okay. So in dealing with emotional turmoil or emotional abuse, it's a few things that I want to explore. But y'all know something right now that's blowing up all our social media, that's blowing up all of the sites. It is everywhere at every turn right now, is the Diddy case, right? So I wasn't going to speak on this case because I'm no legal expert, but I am a social expert, okay? And but it has been so many things that have been shared with us since this trial started 3 or 4 days ago. And a lot of people are saying different things, right? They're saying things like, well, she participated, or she was willingly there because of the money, and she was doing this and she was doing that. And so I would like you all's opinion. Hey, Shamara McShann, welcome, roommate. I appreciate you stopping in. I really do. But what are you guys' take like on the Diddy situation, right? I call for a few reasons. I call emotional abuse in that situation on different scales at different times. So when he first met Cassie, she was a 19-year-old. She was an aspiring, more than just an aspiring singer, but that's the foundation of where he met her. And he promised her this career. Eventually, their professional relationship turned into a romantic relationship. And then from that came a whole host of things, right? I'm not picking any sides. I'm not saying the man is guilty of one thing or another, but I want to highlight emotional abuse 101 is the fact that someone is aiming to control you by way of this psychological control, and it usually leads to you feeling a certain type of way about yourself, and you may not feel the best about yourself as you are going through, because generally when we're in a relation with someone, we have built trust. We believe that they have our best interests at heart, and we're just really believing that they are there for us all for the right reasons. But when you enter into a realm and into a space where a person is literally trying to control how you move, how you come, how you go, then you will find yourself doubting the person that you are. You will find yourself in constant states of confusion, constant states of disbelief, because you're really trying to make sense of, how is this person that I care about so much that I'm willing to do just about anything for, would even have the strength and the wherewithal to kind of take me through these things that are unnecessary, right? So in saying that, I feel like that in ensuring that our mental health is intact, you have to take the temperature for yourself and then the temperature within your environment to ensure that you're not enduring too much, that it borderlines that you are or you become a part of an abusive situation, right? So in emotional abuse and in emotional turmoil, we find ourselves with people who lack empathy, right? And so what does that look like when a person lacks empathy? They generally are like, you can come to them with all sincerity, and you can really be trying to figure out What is it that you need from me, for our relationship to be okay? And sometimes, no matter how humble you come, no matter how sincere you come, a person cannot hear you if they are in a space where they are being deliberate and intentional about really kind of tearing you down. And so tonight, roommates, we are gonna really touch on some areas that may be really uncomfortable. But what I want to challenge you guys is to think about your mental health and think about those moments when you are not completely your best. And so what does that look like? When you are having mental health episodes, that's what I'm gonna call it, because I don't want to call anything a problem and I don't want to call anything an issue, because I do want to educate you guys that everybody in some phase of their life or another, we all will experience depression. Depression is one of the most undiagnosed diagnoses in the world of mental health. You know, you have some people who are clearly able to perform, get up and do all of their motherly duties, their duties that's related to their jobs. They're able to do everything that it is that they need to do, but they don't find fulfillment in anything. There's no joy at the bottom or at the back end of no matter how good or how much they're putting their best foot forward. So in keeping in mind about your mental health, I would love for you guys to chime in to tell me when are moments for you when you know that your mental health is not at its strongest space, where you're not completely yourself. I'll say this. When I find myself unable to understand why I'm in a space that has me in a dark place or a place that has me really uneasy, one of the ways, or a few of the ways that you would know, roommates, that you are really dealing in some emotional turmoil when it comes to your mental health is when you get those certain feelings, and you'll be like, I got that pit in the middle of my stomach. Listen to that pit. It's not a pit. It's that those feelings of uncomfortableness is there for a reason. It's anytime that something makes you uncomfortable, it's not directly tied to your mental health, but it is there to remind you that something isn't right about the situation that you are embarking upon. And it doesn't matter what that situation is. If you feel nervous when you are in the space and the place with certain people, like if you get, a high heart rate when you're about to go and be in certain situations, it's time for you to evaluate, why am I having these physiological responses to my environment? Why am I physically feeling a certain type of way when I need to communicate with this certain person, or when I need to go into this certain environment? And those environments include your family reunions. Those environments include going to Auntie's house on a Saturday or Sunday. Those environments include maybe walking into your job, right? And so what I need you guys to understand is to pick up on your body's cues. Your body will naturally shut down when things around you are not at its best and do not have the propensity to bring out the best in you. Yes, I said propensity, so it doesn't even have the courage or the wisdom to withstand what it is that you're going through, right? All right, so I have some comments here from our roommates. Tasha is saying that she's learned that to have balance in life. She guards what she sees, hears, and says. That's good. She's learned that it's the power of the tongue. Well, we know the power of the tongue. It can bring life to us, and it can also bring death and any of those things, but also forms of affirmation. When our other roommates are saying that they have an issue with not doing the things the way that people think they should or how they should be doing it. one of the worst things that we can do is to believe that each of us are alike and that each of us are going to do things exactly the same. And what we have to understand is that the way that you're going to do things and the way that I'm going to do things are going to look different at different phases in our lives. But what we have to understand is that because you do it one way and I do it another way, it doesn't make one way right or wrong unless there is some harm being spewed upon someone, right? And so be reminded that though we may stay in certain situations out of love, eventually when the body can no longer tolerate, when the body and the mind can no longer tolerate the rejection, the abuse, the circumstances, you will either fight, flight, or you will go into fight, flight, or flee. So you're either going to end up fighting your way throughout that situation. You're going to either be going flight, so that means you're running away from it, so that's nothing but avoidance, or you're going to you're going to flee and go for cover, and those coverings may be temporary, right? The only person that can cover us at all times is God, right? And so we really have to understand the benefits of our mental health and being able to address the things that are having us in these spaces that is tearing us down. Okay? And so I do want you guys to be reminded of that. But it's earlier I talked about intentionality. People being intentional about how they treat you. You know, think about a situation that you may have been in, and you watch a person be so kind and so sweet and so understanding towards almost everybody that they encounter. But it's something about you that maybe triggers something within them that they treat you vastly different. And everything that we do, there is intent behind it. But what I want to really discuss tonight is malicious intent. And so malicious intent, guys, it will take you from a place with being okay with yourself to a place of really just confusion and trying to understand, why am I in this place of maltreatment? Why am I the target of mistreatment? Why is it that I am being targeted and then it leaves me questioning, confused? Your mindset is racing all the time when it comes to the things that you've endured with people. And so with that, you have to sit back. You have to evaluate everything that's going on around you and how people treat you and how you are perceived by other people. All right. Malicious intent. I want to talk about malicious intent when people are intending to harm you, right? And so, you guys got the comments coming, okay? Malicious intent is the works of the devil. All right, bestie. I really agree with you on that one. Because how can you like me and yet be plotting to do some things against me? So in taking care of our mental health, guys, you really have to understand your place in people's lives. Because really, a lot of times we do it to ourselves. We allow people to misuse us. And in that misuse, your mental health becomes mental unhealthiness, because you're really trying to find a clear understanding of why someone will want to emotionally take advantage of you or emotionally abuse you, right? I'm going to define malicious intent. It is the deliberate and intentional desire to cause harm, damage, or injury to someone or to something. Maliciousness in general terms refers to the intent to harm another person without just cause or reason. It's not an accidental it's not accidental. It is negligent behavior. It is intentional, and it is deliberate wrongdoing. Roommates, let me tell you something. I know lately we've been using a very trendy word for a couple years now, and that word is weird. It's weird energy. They're acting weird towards me. Pick up on those cues. Understand that generally when people go from being all right with you to not being okay with you, it's some sort of deliberate act behind it. Sometimes it is because maybe there's been a misunderstanding, but I'll tell you this, my grandmother always told me, a small misunderstanding will let you know your place in a person's life. The last few years for me, hey Auntie Linda, the last few years for me, roommates, I have been in constant prayer asking God, please remove anything, any place, any circumstance, any person out of my life that does not have great intentions for me and for our relationship. And I joked about this a few times, but I mean it. In doing that, now I'm left with a dog, a few kids, and, a best friend and a couple of cousins. It's just things looks different when you become adamant and you start to set boundaries. And we're going to get to like, how do you gain and take your mental health back from people or just from things that are living rent free in your head. Roommates, we got to stop the sleepless nights. We have to stop blaming ourselves for people mistreating us. We have to take ownership of what we've allowed, and we have to implement boundaries and things that are going to change situation for us. And I'll tell you this, it is going to make you lose people who are adamant about not respecting you. Disrespect, intention, malicious intent, rejection, those are things that people can control. And in controlling the way that they act towards you, they're hoping to control you. And the moment that people are unable to control you, then now they have to go recruit others to get them on the bandwagon, because now it's taken the village to tear down one person, because people just don't have that wherewithal to fight their own fights. Every fight is not meant for you. I'll tell you this, best friend, child, whomever, I'm for right is right. If you are in a space where you are allowing people to dictate how you treat others, you need to reevaluate yourself. Because we all are going through something. There's nobody out here that's not going through something. Okay? And so I see a lot of hearts and stuff like that. And yes, Boosie, it's the malicious intent for me. Okay? And if you know, you know. Like, it really is. Because people will go out of their way to try to destroy you as a person, to try to destroy your character. And in that, you do end up hurt. Your mental health do go to all of these places because emotionally you're not okay. You're trying to figure out, why are you being the space and the target for maltreatment. Okay? So malicious intent is deliberate. A person is intending to do and intending to show you ain't who you think you are. And what would you call that? When a person is trying to show you ain't all that. Right? When a person is in this space where they are lacking remorse for you, lacking remorse for who you are, not respecting any boundaries, making you feel isolated because they've, again, built up this tribe to make you think that you're the problem. When you've done all that you can do to try to rectify relationships and rectify situations, roommates, the only thing left to do is to pack your stuff and to get on up out of there. Because you're going to continue to find yourself in this emotional turmoil where you can't even function when you're in that environment that is seeking to destroy you. Okay? And so you have to be cognizant and you have to be mindful, but you can't lose yourself. the very people who are deliberately trying to show you you're not this and show you you're not that are the very people who are really struggling with things within themselves. And that's really the truth, roommates. So when I say give yourself grace, I mean that. But what we do also have to practice in that same sentence is to give other people grace. Part of the ways that I have been able to preserve my mental health and to be okay even when I'm not okay. When I'm not okay and I need to take a time out, I take a time out. And that time out looks different for all of us. But when you are constantly fighting for your name or constantly fighting for your peace, you have to evaluate everything around you. Okay? Hey, Amanda, love you, my love. And so in that, I want to ask you guys a question. Because this is something that is kind of on the forefront and that I hear a lot from my roommates when it comes to keeping your mental health intact and protecting your peace, right? And so Boosie is calling them emotional vampires. She said they suck the life out of everything. They try to drain you of your energy, and they love to show you that you ain't who you think you are. But here's the fact of the matter. It's not who you think you are, roommates. It's who they know you are. The people around you are either going to do one or two things for you in your life and as it relates to your mental health. They are either going to uplift you in everything, in every fiber in them, or they're going to do everything they can to manipulate the system, the situation, the person, to try to bring them down a notch, okay? So can somebody tell me, what does it look like, and how do you guys feel about when someone is trying to humble you? What does it look like when somebody is trying to humble you? What does that even mean? Let me give y'all a second before I jump on up in there. Roommates, when someone is trying to humble you, it really means that they either are trying to put you down because they don't feel as good about themselves. You yourself make them feel a certain type of way. Maybe you haven't reassured them. Maybe you have really been focused on trying to get yourself together, right? Generally, when people try to humble you, they're trying to make you feel less important or less proud. And when I say proud, I don't mean like, oh, I'm proud, I think I'm better than people. I mean, they're trying to minimize your success. They're trying to minimize your contribution to your environment, minimize your contribution to people, minimize your contribution to life. And then, so it seems like you're constantly on this slippery slope. You know, I share stories with you guys that are related to what I'm talking about. Never name names, because that's not what's important. What's important is, how do you overcome? And how do you situate yourself to be okay even when you're not okay? And one of the things that just sticks in my head and just like a constant reoccurring blurb in my life is, all my life I had to fight. And I say that with a smile on my face, but with a frown on my heart, because all my life I've set out to do well by people. But doing good by people and doing well by myself has been counted against me. So it has been like counterproductive, right? And so what happens is that you get people in spaces with you that are looking to destroy either your image, destroy your confidence, take your peace and distort your mental health, have you in these states of confusion. But I'm here to remind you tonight, roommates, that it's time to take your life back. It's time to take your peace back. It's time to stand in the gap for and on behalf of yourself and not allow people to have that type of reign and or control over your life. Thank y'all. I see a lot of preach. Amen. And so when people are trying to humble you, it's not because you've done anything, or it's not even because you've not shown humility in life. One thing about me is I have never, ever been a fan of a bully. But yet I found myself in situations being bullied or being abused. And I've always tried to combat those things with love. Because the Bible says love begets, love, and hate begets hate. People can love you. They can love you for real, love you. But they don't know how to love you, and they don't know how to receive you in love. And it's a downfall of theirs, and that's why I say you have to show people grace, even in amidst them mistreating you and taking you on this emotional roller coaster, mostly like you didn't ask for it. You didn't invite it into your world. You didn't ask for it, but yet you are finding yourself defending who you are, defending your name, knowing that you've done well by other people, right? So when people are trying to humble you, they're trying to make you feel less important. They're trying to minimize who you have been, what your contribution has been, what your successes are. I've had people to tell me things like, yeah, you're on this high horse. I don't even know what that means. You got to go up the ladder, you'll come down. I don't understand that for me with people, simply because it's thundering, y'all. It's rain and it's thundering. I don't understand that simply because I really, and roommates, you really should be putting your best foot forward when you are interacting with other people. Simply because we just don't know what people are going through. And then being a social worker have taught me so much about just people in general. So even if I don't agree with you, I can agree to disagree, and I can keep it moving. But one thing you have to do, roommates, is believe them when they tell you something. And telling you is not always verbal. Telling you is how they show you in action. How they show up for you versus how they show up for other people. How they support you or the lack thereof. So you are able to read how a person's and what a person's intents towards you simply by their actions. And I know a lot of this stuff seems so cliche. We are so big on, I'm going to show somebody how I feel about them, but at the same time, you're not going to be expressive enough to tell them if something is bothering you. Do you know how a good conversation, sitting down with somebody that you care about, a relationship that you are in, and you expressing to someone exactly how they made you feel, how that can change the trajectory of the relationship? But I'll tell you this, roommates, it can change it for the better, but it can also change it for the worse. Because some people can't receive when they're wrong. It's the lack of accountability for me, Boosie. Okay? It's the lack of accountability. Because if you've done something to wrong me, or if I've done something to wrong you, we have the right to have the conversation and to say, listen, this didn't make me feel my best. I wish you wouldn't do that to me. I've had people over my years that have emotionally and physically and mentally abused me so much that they thought it was right. They took that as second nature and stood in their bullshit on mistreating me. Oh, we got lights flickering. Oh my God, y'all, it's thundering. But what I need for you guys to understand is you got to stand in the gap for yourself, and you have to take your life back from people who don't mean you no good. And yes, that's your sister. Yes, that's your brother. Yes, that's your used to be friend. Yes, that's your ex. And it might even be the person you land next to every night. People who are trying to humble you, they're looking to minimize your self-esteem and control your ego. Because in their mind, they're constantly thinking, who do you think you are? And it's not that you have put a perception out here that you think you're better than people. It's the fact that you are moving better. It's the fact that you are overcoming better. It's the fact that you are not allowing them to tear you down better. It's the fact that you see them. And so they don't have an appreciation for you because you want to be a smarty pants, and I don't want you to be smart. I want you to take me kicking you down as a form of love, and it's not. It's not. Yes, you're going to lose people, roommates. You are going to lose people the moment you choose peace and your mental health over everything around you. Because if you don't, you're going to continue to be the butt of the joke. You're going to continue to be bullied. You're going to continue to sacrifice your peace for their happiness. And what we're not doing in 2025 and at this big age is sacrificing our happiness for the sake of people who would never do it for us. I remember being totally confused in certain parts of my life and in certain relationships that I was so confused that I thought I was losing my mind. Again, your mental health is unstable when your mindset when you can't focus. When you can't think straight. I know that might be the same thing. When you can't understand. Confusion is the work of the enemy. Ain't no way, Boosie, you and I are in a friendship and I'm confused about why you don't like something. We should be able to have that conversation. And if you don't like it and if I value you enough, I'm going to change that about me. Okay? Other ways people will try to humble you is because they fear your potential. See, people see in you what you don't even see in yourself. People see in you, even those people that pretend that they don't like you. I'm about to give you a mental health note 101. They see you, sis. They see you, bruh. Don't you ever underestimate it for nothing in the world. If a person is mistreating you for no reason at all, they see you, sis. They see you. Roommates, there's no way on God's green earth that nobody should be mistreating you at this big age. Calling you out of your name, treating you a certain type of way, doing things to you that is just so uncouth, and having you in spaces and places where you are constantly trying to defend your name, and you don't even know why you're trying to defend yourself. Defend myself against what? Okay? Let me get to some of these comments because y'all got them coming in. Everybody says they want to do good, but nobody wants you to do better than them. I agree. I agree that. People say that they love honesty. That's real love. If you can take that honesty, right? Phoenix, our light went out. And exactly why, Boosie, that's exactly why you're my favorite friend in real life. I love you so bad. Listen, roommates. We got most of y'all. Now, don't get me wrong. I got all type of age ranges on this platform with me, and I'm thankful. I am more than thankful. But I am here to let you guys know that most of us have more years in front of us than behind us than we know what is in front of us, right? We don't know what is going to happen. I'm nearing 47. I would love 47 plus more years behind me. I promise you that's part of my prayers, longevity. But roommates, I'm going to tell you, honey, or honeys, that you want to make sure that you are in a space and in a place where you are not being misused by somebody who is finding they're getting joy out of your misery. Okay? We don't want nobody to get joy out of our misery. We just don't want that. Y'all, the rain is real bad over here. I'm going in and out of lights, but I'm sticking beside y'all. Okay? We coming to a close. One of the main reasons that someone will want to And this one is about to sound harsh, roommates. But we checking in on our mental health, and we need you guys to take notes. So one of the main reasons why somebody will want to humble you is because it's a form of hate. Sometimes people cover hate with chuckling and all of those things, but they mean it from the pits of their soul. And them themselves generally are dealing with some sort of self-esteem issues themselves. So the bottom line is that when they're trying to humble you, it means that you're probably making them feel smaller when you simply just show up. I remember a couple years ago, I had found this meme, and it said something along the lines of like, I wish y'all just tell me y'all don't like me. Y'all just got me out here skidding and grinning and waving. And that's the truth, because I move out of love, and you should move out of love, roommates. Don't let nobody steal your joy, and don't let nobody damper and harden your heart. The Bible says we should not allow this world to harden our hearts. Keep your heart, roommates. Keep it up, keep it going, and be okay with the people that are willing to let you go, as opposed to comfort you and help you to protect your peace. They shouldn't be a burden. Anybody that you're dealing with in your life should be an asset. It should be an addition to who you are and what you bring to the table. Love shouldn't hurt. No love. We're not just talking about the love of a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. No love should hurt. When you find yourself steady questioning, what did I do? And they don't allow you the opportunity to fix something that they believe that you've broken, it's not you. It's them. So don't go beating yourself over the head, losing yourself, and trying to figure out what you've done when the problem in all actuality is them. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a few tips, and I got some comments. So Boosie is saying that she likes to keep her feelings intact because she always show up, and it's always a show out, and she loves excitement and the way that she is shown love. But I'm sure, Boosie, at some turn, there are times that you show up in authentically yourself, and it is rubbing somebody wrong in every sense of the word. In every sense of the word, it is rubbing somebody wrong. And guys, I can only see some comments, so I do need you guys to bear with me. If you're commenting, please just keep it coming. And so, tell me, what do you guys do to preserve your mental health? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from my roommates. What do you do to preserve and keep your mental health intact? What are some of the things that you do? One of the ways, and I'll see if your comments come up, one of the ways and one of the tips of healing and keeping your mental health intact is we have to learn to recognize any form of abuse. It doesn't matter what that abuse is. It doesn't matter if it's emotional, if it's physical. First and foremost, we always have to recognize it, right? So we want to recognize the abuse, and then we want to have to find a way to address it. Now, it may take you getting together a plan on how to address it, because not everybody know how to receive when you're trying to address things or trying to put boundaries in place, okay? So the very first thing is that you have to recognize that you are being abused in whatever capacity that you're being abused, okay? So that's the first step to healing and staying mentally healthy, okay? If you're not an asset, you're a liability. That is also the truth. All right, we should definitely be an asset. You know, the insurances will drop you quick as a liability. So you're absolutely right when you say that. One of the most important things, roommates, I need for you guys to take and put in your back pockets, and to keep also on the forefront as you're trying to keep your mental health intact and as healthy as possible, is that you got to remember that whatever form of abuse that comes your way, it is not your fault. Honestly, the person that's doing the abusing, that's the person that's at fault. Don't ever let somebody tell you that I'm doing this, you making me do this to you. No one should be doing anything to you other than loving on you and showing you the love and the decency that you desire, want, and that you deserve too. So don't let nobody go putting the blame on you. It ain't your fault. Okay? At our big age, get you a journal. Document your feelings. Now I'm going to tell y'all this. I was going through one of them breakups, y'all, that I thought that was going to take me out. You know, that whole thing like, oh, you ain't going to be shit without me and all that. And you go believe in that. You really believe that when people are telling you things like that. First of all, don't believe that. Don't believe that bullshit. Don't you do it. But I remember, you know, just being amidst a breakup, and this person was trying to do everything in their power to just knock me down a notch. You know, throw dirt on my name, make me seem like the worst person in the whole wide world or whatever. But what got me through that really mental unhealthy place is I started journaling. Yep. I got me a journal, and every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, I was writing down my feelings, what this person said to me, how that person made me feel. And it made me feel good in that moment because I was able to release so much tension and so much pain and so much grief. Because remember, your breakups from people, it doesn't matter if it's platonic or intimate, you're suffering a loss. So with suffering a loss comes along grief. And so at the time that I was going through this really bad breakup, I had compound grief because I had lost my grandmother. Who was my world. I was just really, really going through, and I was just really in a crazy space. And I started to journal, and it changed my perception of things that was going on around me. It made me realize quickly that this too shall pass. And I don't even know where that journal is now, but I could tell you a few years ago I found it and I read it, and it was a whole joke to me. Because, girl, I know you weren't going through all of it, this fool. They don't be worth it. They ain't worth it. Okay? Auntie Linda said walk away. Period. We got some meditation, prayer, and relaxing. That'll do it. That'll do it. Even if it's temporary. But get up and repeat. Get up, meditate, pray, relax, repeat. Until you go from telling yourself that you're okay to you go to feeling that you are okay. All right? Work on rebuilding your self-esteem. When people are telling you things like you ain't shit, you ain't gonna never be shit, you ain't nothing without me, you ain't this, you ain't that, you a horrible person. I've had people that tell me I hate you. That should really literally be telling me I love you. And so when you are dealing in that type of emotional turmoil, roommates, you do have to go through a rebuilding phase. You have to learn to love yourself again because the people who you entrusted with building you up has now literally destroyed your self-esteem. So you have to take the time to rebuild your esteem, okay? Use groundbreaking exercises so that you can come back like those traumatic flashbacks. It's all traumatically filled. If you care about something, in the absence of it, whether it is a voluntary or involuntary loss, you are going to suffer grief. But in suffering that grief, understand what are the lessons you got behind that, roommates. Don't get so caught up on the trauma and stay stuck mentally unhealthy. Get caught up on the process, on why did it happen, and what are you doing to dig yourself up out of it so that it don't happen again. Because I'm going to tell you what I put up with last week, I ain't putting up with this week. So you know something I put up with 10 years ago ain't going to fly today. So I might as well go ahead and reintroduce myself. I'm Tamika, a.k.a. Mickey, affectionately known as Pud or Sweet Meat. And I ain't taking that bullshit from nobody. And yes, I'm standing in that. You have to stand for something or fall for anything. People will strip you of everything that you have if you allow them. I've had people that tell me, what's so different between now and then? Oh, so you want to abuse me? Oh, you want to treat me unfair? Oh, you want to bully me? Well, no, I'm not doing that anymore. When you know better, you do better. And then you may lose a lot of people. But I promise you there is an environment that is waiting for you to embrace you exactly how you are and to support you exactly how you show up. Launching my businesses have shown me so much about the people that I love the most. Because you love them a lot, that doesn't mean that they're going to support you. And that doesn't mean that they don't love you. People don't know how to support you because they've either sat in a corner somewhere and talked about you and, oh, I'm not going to support that, and who she thinks she is. It's not who I think I am. It's me working towards something where I'm trying to build a future and build legacy for the generations after me. And the fact that you can't even see that, fathom it, you never will understand it. When people are in a space that they are saying, oh, you think you better, they know that you are better, because 9 times out of 10, y'all probably had the same fresh start. Y'all probably were dealt the same hand. Y'all probably had you didn't have nothing, you didn't have a magic stick that put you ahead or whatever. Don't let people go and disturb who you are and whose you are based on their own insecurities, because a person that is insecure is a person that will tear you down until you have stooped to that level, either by responding recklessly or by going to a space of retaliation. What your retaliation should look like today, roommates, is walking away. Set boundaries and don't let them cross it, and don't let them into your world unless they are willing to respect you, appreciate you, and accept you for who you are, and not try to minimize who you are because of the stupid, dumb comparisons that they're doing in their little minds. You have to get to a place to where you don't care. You have to get to a place to where you don't care. Can't let these folks tear you down. Folks are going through their own stuff. We all fight our own battles. Okay? Focus on your own needs, roommates. Focus on your needs. Focus on what you need. And if the people around you are not willing to give you what you need, you go into the spaces where you are celebrated and not tolerated. I have sat at so many tables where I was simply tolerated out of, that's my family. That's my friend. Oh, I knew her for 30 years. But I'm at a place now, guys, and you should also be at a place where a person can recognize who you are without you having to beg and plead for them to recognize who you are. Recognize the good in everybody, but don't lose yourself while recognizing that. Focus on your needs. Practice self-compassion. Give yourself grace, roommates. Protect your mental health. Don't let nobody piss on you and call it rain. Okay? We have to make sure that we are doing the things that keep us mentally healthy. And if you don't have the support system that you want, desire, and deserve, create your own. The love that I get from you guys week in and week out is unmatched. It's unfiltered. It is support that I I dreamed of, and I don't worry about who's not here. I honor who is here. Roommates, I thank you guys more than you could ever know. You guys are my roommates. I'm rocking out with you. I don't care if one person show up or 10,000. Y'all gonna get this work. Y'all gonna get this work. Because we deserve the things that are meant for us. Stop minimizing yourself. Stop aiding and assisting people with tearing down your worth and your emotional well-being. You deserve better on so many levels. Don't stoop to their level, but also don't allow them to stomp you at every turn possible. Don't let them tell you, oh, you think people are against you, or you think people talking about you. That's minimization. That's a person not taking accountability when you tell them, you make me feel this way. If you're telling somebody they make you feel a certain type of way and their rebuttal is you think, you got to reevaluate that situation for yourself. Okay? Somebody is saying we have the same 24 hours. How you use your time is on you. How I use my time is on me. It seems like someone needs to make better decisions. I agree. Find the wherewithal to be okay even when you're not okay. We don't need no pity parties, because guess what? We do negative self-talk every day without the outside influence. But then imagine adding fuel to that fire, roommates. Oh, they don't like me because they say I think I'm better. Oh, they said you ain't all that. Yeah, you are in a bag of chips too. So don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't aid and assist them people with tearing you down. I'm going to my closing segment. Y'all did great. Amen, Amanda. Amanda, call me. And so, closing segment. We talked about emotional abuse today, y'all. It can be and have devastating impact on a person's mental health. Emotional abuse can have devastating effects on a person's mental health and well-being. It often leaves individuals feeling powerless, alone, and struggling to move forward. Healing from emotional abuse can be a difficult and complex process, but it is possible. I am in the phase of my life, and I am going to challenge you to adopt this. I am begging for forgiveness rather than asking for permission. Do the things that makes your heart smile. Do the things that put your mental health at ease. Do the things that make you want to dance in the rain as if nobody is watching, and even if they are, kick your feet up a little bit higher. Roommates, mental health is wealth. If you are mentally unhealthy, you do not have the capacity to show up for the people that need you, that desire to have you in their lives, and that are counting on you, and that be it friends, children, or whomever you've signed up to be a part of their lives. None of us asked for the families we were born into, but yet we were born into them. But family is not always blood. Find your family, find your peace, and do everything in your power to attain it and to maintain it. Roommates, I love y'all. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Good night.